exceptionally happy. Sad, but happy now that you know why it works. That's good. We've addressed your gut feelings of frequent, common, probable, and typical. Oh, you have not addressed middle yet. We have not addressed middle yet. But go. Tell me your name one more time.
Median,
Kelly, I hear the word median. Oh, what is median? I love this word. What is median? Center. But aren't they all center? I mean, they're measures of central tendency. I'm being a bastard. Counter that. Yes, they're all center, but this one is the exact center. Yes. Remember when Tom was up there and he said half above, half below? This is the measure that puts half above and half below. This is the one. This is the one that puts half above and half below. So I want to make sure we verbalize that correctly because you guys said exactly the right thing, Kelly. I love the median in the middle, boom. But the median, number 3, the median, also, which I don't think has a special symbol. It used to back in like the 70s and 80s, and we don't use it anymore. The median, like many things from the 80s we shouldn't use anymore. Median means arrange your data in order and then find the halfway point. Okay? So it's the halfway point of sorted, not sorted like S-O-R-D-I-D, S-O-R-T-E-D. We don't want sorted S-O-R-D-I-D data. Maybe we do, I don't know. Sorted data. Now I already sorted it for you in the data list I gave you because that's just annoying to have to deal with that without technology. So let's put that back up. I'm going to pull the screen partially down. I'll leave the median, of course there.
Okay, get it.
So it's already sorted for you. Lowest to highest. And it doesn't matter if you go low to high or high to low. Completely irrelevant. David, go.
Is it saying the exact middle between the highest and lowest number, or the exact middle between the highest and lowest numbers of the numbers that are available? So if you're missing numbers, you can change it.
Okay, I love this question. I love this question for so many reasons. Can I ask a parallel question, which I think is what you're getting at? Is it asking for the middle position or the middle magnitude? Yeah. It's the middle position. Now, as far as incompleteness of data, don't assume incompleteness. Assume that's all we've got. So, what we're doing is, these are positions. And this is when I wish I had a screen that was 20 feet wide and 1 foot tall. I put them all in a straight line for us. It'd be much cooler for this particular thing. But this is position number 1, position number 2, position number 3. I know all of those are the same data value. That's just a function of repeated data. That's okay. So position number 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 35. Okay? Positionally, which one's in the middle?
3.
Number 3, position 18, right? Because you have 17 below. I can't quite reach it. 17 above, and this one guy out here in the middle. So if you think about it, crossing off, I can't cross off the screen, but cross, and cross, you're going to have one data point left, aren't you? One data point in the middle. That's your median. So the median in this case is this 3 right here. Your actual geographic middle of the positions of the data. Go ahead.
Holy gravy. Okay, so I'm going to the position and I wanted to do 2-5, that box.
2.
Look directly under the R, under Tuesday, Thursday class, right there. That's my middle.
This is why I say I wish I had a 20-foot wide screen with,
Okay.
because this is one big set of data. Okay. Imagine it starting here and being written out all the way, connecting back to here, and then going out. It's one big string of 35 numbers.
Okay.
The 18th number is in the middle of that position.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that fair?
So yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So if you have 34 students, then what?
Then you take 2 numbers.
May I? If you don't mind. First of all, let's say we got the median of 3. Good, Rachel, I'm going to have you answer it. We've got the median of 3 keys. Let's put that over here. I love this question. And I didn't have 34, I had 36 in my class on Monday and Wednesday. If you would, I'm going to hit Control Z a couple times, get my old data back. It's okay with you guys? Escape. Control Z, where's my old data?
Undo.
Okay, easier. Let me just close the whole damn thing down and open it again. Alright, the camera's still wrong. It's pointing at the wrong place, so I'll fix that in a second. Here it is. Okay. Enable. There's no content. It's a PowerPoint. Let's see. Okay, so Tom's question, a good one. That was very convenient that we had an odd number of data points, 35, because there will be one middle value. How about on Monday, Wednesday's class when there were 36?
Add them together and divide them into 2.
find the two middles and average them. So it would be 18 and 19. So it would be the last one here and that one. Those are the two middles, right? Now if you think of this as a crossing out, I can write this on the board, I think. If you think of this as, it's on the wall. Think of it as crossing out. That 0 crosses out with that 9. Throw those away. That 0 crosses out with that 9. 1 crosses off 8. 1 crosses off 8. And so, see what I'm doing, friends? I'm just taking away a low position with a corresponding high. A low with a corresponding high. Then I stop and pause. I got more left. Low, corresponding high. Low, corresponding high. Low, high. See, Katie, we've moved through the 2, 5 now area. We're still crossing. Low, high. Low, high. Low, high. 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 Low, high. Now, at this point in your class, we had one thing left. We had just that 1, 3 left. But in the Monday and Wednesday class, we had a 3 and a 4 left. If you cross them both off, you got no data left. So you got to leave the last 2 points and just average it. Call it 3.5. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Great question. And Rich, I told you I was going to have you answer it myself. I apologize. You had the solution though. Fair? This is the middle, if you will, the geographic middle. Why would you choose? I'm going to get to you in 1 second, Linda. I promise. Why would you choose to use the median instead of the average? I mean, they're not that different. They're a little different, right? 4 versus 3. The average is higher for our data points than it was for the median and the mode. But why would you, what do you think, Candace?
Maybe if it's something that you're able to break down and get like a 0.5, because like say if you're using people and you can't have a half a person, then you're going to want to use an average.
Clever. Where a fractional wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
I like that answer. Good answer. Any other reasons? David?
Probably just want to use it with the other 2. I don't think you'd want to use any 3 of those alone.
Oh.
Doesn't make sense.
I love this answer. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even want to use just these 3. There's another measure that has nothing to do with center directly that needs to go along with at least the average. Give me till Thursday, we'll get into that, I promise. Yeah, this is an incomplete picture for sure. This whole day is incomplete, but it's just setting the stage for that groundwork. Good, good. Go ahead, Sandra.
The medium eliminates the extremes.
May I ask a question to go along with that statement, if you would? Suppose, for example, I'm still pointing, yeah, we're recording, we're good.
Yep, you're good.
So let's suppose you have the exact same data set that we had right here. Exactly the same. But instead of this person who had 12 keys, that person had 123 keys. Ridiculous. But let's just suppose this is not ridiculous when you think of, say, wealth disparity. You know, the 80-20
Right.
principle, the 95-5 principle. That high number could be exceptionally high. If you want to talk about the average number of keys then, would you use the median or the mode or the average? Or which would you avoid using if you had an extreme or some extreme values? What does your gut tell you? We'd avoid the mean, Elizabeth says avoid the mean, avoid the average, a nod, yes?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you avoid them?
Because it would just take the extreme and divide it equally.
It would take the extreme and divide it evenly around all the data points, giving maybe a false impression that all the data points actually have that.
Isn't that kind of like a curve when teachers grade?
I see. It depends on who you talk to and how they grade on a curve. I'm not sure how they do that. There's grading on a curve using a bell curve, and there's grading on a curve by adding points. And that's the thing, Rachel. But grading on a curve means you grade on a bell curve, which I don't think is what most people do. They just throw points at people's tests. So in other words, suppose the class average was 76 and they wanted to be an 86. They just add 10 points to everybody's test.
Is that kind of like the bear
I
grading on
thought
the bear?
it's the student that did like super awesome on the test and the rest of us would do kind of half.
Oh, that's a good example of not using, it shouldn't be using an average, so you should be looking at a median. Hold that thought till Thursday. I've actually got real data on that exact stuff from a previous Math 95 class that I had back in the day. Oh yeah, that's a perfect example of when you shouldn't use an average.
So yeah,
We'll come back to that, I promise, I
You
promise.
want to use a median because then it would kind of exit out that one wouldn't even be applied.
Because as Rachel said, the median is a measure of positional comparison. If this was 12, 123, 1,023, 1,023, it's still just the highest value that gets crossed out first with that 0. Which means if it is truly an outlier and might skew results, The median is a much better value to use because it won't give you an inflated, or in some cases deflated, result, a typical result. I mean, how typical? If this was 1,230, how typical would the average be if you calculated the average on that? You'd end up getting an average of like 34 or something like that. How typical would 34 be?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not typical at all, right? It doesn't give you any good idea of what's actually in the data set. More on that on Thursday, I promise. More on that on Thursday, I promise. And Rachel, I have the data you're talking about. And data I had to deal with back in the day. And we'll talk about how I dealt with it too. Because it's an interesting, an average is so easy to calculate. But just because something is easy to do doesn't mean you should do it. Right? Right? Grand Theft Auto is pretty easy too from what I hear. Doesn't mean you should do it. Not that taking an average is like stealing a car. But the implications of using the wrong statistic to talk about something can be exceptionally bad. Good, very, very good points. I want to wrap up today by looking at this data a second way. So if you think back to yesterday, when I say yesterday I mean last Thursday, last class, we looked at data a couple different ways. We looked at a lot of histograms, histogram-y type things, and I love histograms. Histograms are such a neat way of envisioning data.